Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I am recording. This is gonna be a super quick video teaching you how I make my Instagram slide stories or story slides, and you can use this for Facebook. And I'm just gonna teach you how I get the colors to pop, how I have it all kind of go together, what to write, how to write it, and how to really make your slides stand out so that way people want to keep reading versus exit. So my name is Brittany. I'm going to be teaching you all about it and just what I know. So I'm no expert. This is just what I do. And obviously it's working because I enroll all of my distributors and all of my customers through my Instagram stories. So I'm super pumped. So at Green Carpet this week, I took some really good notes, and this may be a little difficult for some of you guys on here. I know for those of you who have been on for a little bit, it'll be a lot easier. And if you hear my dog in the background, I'm sorry, he's like scratching around. Just ignore that. I don't know how loud it's picking it up on here. And so for me, it was kind of hard for me to write my story. In fact, I was actually, in the beginning, like I say all the time, learning how to post and learning how to, just talk about what I'm going through in my business and what my goals and my dreams are. I just constantly found myself taking other people's content and using it and rewriting it so that way it was my own. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to get to a point where you can become creative. And this is one of the skills that I have that I feel like is just embedded in me is just my creativity. And so I challenge you to find your creativity, or maybe if you were creative, find that again, because that's what's honestly going to make you stand out in this business, and be able to just truly be you and feel confident in your work too when you have your own work that you've created and you're not just taking somebody else's ideas. So what I mean by being creative is, thinking about what did you do today? What pictures do you have on your phone? And how can you create that into a story or into a post or into a live video? So always thinking outside the box, and not necessarily taking other people's content, but using it so that way you can pop ideas in your head to make your own version of it. Okay. So steps 1 through 4, we're about to go over that. How to write your It Works story. So I want you guys to get a pen and paper out, or maybe the notes in your phone. Number 1, what was your life like before it works? So we're going to practice feel, felt, found. What that means is, if somebody, let's just use this as an example. Somebody says, oh, I've been so broke. When I was in college, I was always a broke college kid. And I still am. So I would say, oh girl, I feel you. I totally understand. I've been there. I've felt that way, but this is what I found. And it's truly just the solution to their problem. So you're offering a solution to their problem, and you're connecting on having the same problem, but instead you found something they haven't yet. So that's why it's so important to post about different things and be creative, because one day you may be posting about your groceries, but that may not be somebody's struggle on the other end. It may be that they can't buy clothes, but then they see you buying clothes, and that's it. Game changer. They're now paying attention to what you have to offer. Okay. So always, always, always talk about what was life like before it works. That's number 1. Number 2, how you found it works. That's really important to share how you found it works, because a lot of people don't know how you start. They don't know how people get into these things. And your story could really inspire somebody. And like the moment in your life when you found it works. Talk about that too. And number 3, how my life is different now. That's really important, because once again, that's the solution to their problem and your problem. And number 4, inviting them. This is where you can do a call to action. It's where you can do a, click on my poll, or, comment below, or, text this number, whatever. So those are the 4 steps on how you're gonna write your story. Simply, it's just what was life like before, relate to them on so many different things, be creative with it, talk about how life is different now and how you found the business, and then invite them in. I always get my distributors by polls. That's the best way, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Hold on one second, you guys. Sorry, guys. He has to get the dogs. They're like just running around in the cage. I don't know what's going on. Okay. They're gone now. Good. It's always the dogs. Dogs are kids. Dogs are kids. All right. The third thing, let me just repeat them. What was life like before it worked? How did you find it works? How my life is different now. And then 4, invite them in somehow. Okay. So that's what I do in my stories all the time. Your job is to be creative with the colors, be creative with the story, and really capture, people's pain points. A pain point is, something that when you think about it, you're just like, ah, man, this sucks. You know what I mean? I had a neighbor down the road. She joined my business because I built a brand new patio in my backyard, and she's been wanting to do that. That one thing is what changed the game for her, and she said yes. Okay, so think about how can you show this business in so many different ways. So what we're gonna do is I want all of you to download the app called Over. This is what I use, OVER. It's a yellow circle, and I'm gonna show you guys how I go about this. So if you're rewatching this video, I want you to go and just pause this afterwards once you have your pictures. But I really want you guys to start thinking about what colors you want to be associated with. For me, I love bright colors like pink. All of you guys know I use pink. I use yellows and blues, okay? Primarily pink though. And think about, like, maybe you're a boy mom. I know Priscilla uses a lot of blues, and so does Katie, even though she's a girl mom, whatever. But just use a lot of whatever color you want to associate yourself with. Think about what your website would look like. If you have a website and someone says, what colors do you want? I want you to start using that more in your Instagram slides. I want you to start thinking about patterns. Maybe you want to be known for hearts or stars or cheetah, whatever it is. And that should also be the preset that you're using. So if you're in Dreamcatchers, you can do the Social Media Academy. It's one of the units in there, and it'll teach you how to do all this. But I want you guys to find your own photos. So these are the photos that I have that I just associated with my brand. So stars, cheetah, and just these colors. You see how all the colors go together? So I try to use these colors as much as possible. Should I narrow it down? Probably, but I like doing so many different things, and being repetitive with patterns is going to help you. So pause this and go to Pinterest and go type in backgrounds or, pretty highlight covers. You can literally search that and tons of stuff will come up. And then once you click on that, it'll show recommended images, so you can keep searching and searching. I mean, you guys, I screenshotted like 50 and I narrowed it down to these ones. And these are the ones that I'm stuck with, that my heart is on. So I always use that. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to teach you to do today is the story that I actually just put up. So I do a combination of using Over and then adding GIFs on top of it from Instagram. So I'll go ahead and save what I'm making on Over. I will upload it onto my Instagram story, and then you can add music, you can add GIFs, you can even draw on it. Either way, whatever you do, save it in your phone and create a separate album like in your phone for it, so that way you never lose this stuff, okay? So I always start by introducing myself. So I say, hey guys, my name is Brittany. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. So this is what you're gonna do today. It doesn't always have to say, hey guys, let me introduce myself. It could be, you're showing that you're out at, maybe Longhorn. You're out at Longhorn and you're eating and you're just showing your family having fun at the dinner table, right? And then maybe right away, right after, you can just go into 4 years ago or a year ago or a couple months ago, I used to worry about how I would pay for meals like this, and just go into your story that way. You should be sharing your story at least 5 times a day, whether it's word of mouth, on your Instagram, on your story, it doesn't matter. It could just be like 4 years ago, we were never able to do this. That counts as one time sharing your story. Why? Tell them why, okay? So this is what we're gonna do. Hey guys, my name is Brittany. This is the one we're gonna do today. So you guys can see I added the GIFs right here just to add some detail. And I talk about myself, who I am. I'm a mom, I'm a spouse, And then I talk about 4 years ago. This is just a basic way to share your story, talking about before it works and what you went through, okay? This says, so I started my own online business. This is what I found. I felt, I feel the same way you do. I struggled. I felt that way, but I found this, okay? And then I talk about this girl soon caught the vision. It's hard to read backwards, you guys. She fell in love. I worked hard. I met new friends. And then I talk about what this business has done for us. Now, I bought a house. I've done all that fancy stuff, but truly the little things will also go a long way for you as well. So I talk about what It Works has done for me. And then what you're going to do after is you're going to step out of your comfort zone and you're going to make a video about the spots that you have available on your team right now, okay? So I'm talking about how I have 50% off codes right now. And I want to let them know, like, the more that you show yourself talking, if you're not talking on your videos, it's time to start, because people are really going to appreciate that. You may think everyone's judging you, but really they're like, oh, this is cool. Not a lot of people that I follow actually talk. So be that person that stands out. Do the things that the old you wasn't willing to do, because you're a new you every single day. Every day you should wake up and be like, what else can I do today that I didn't do the day before, right? So my next step is I'm going to add a poll. So I'm just going to teach you guys from the beginning how I do this. You're going to open the app over. Now, you don't have to pay for it. I pay for it just because I do, a lot more with it. But I'm going to show you guys how you can get around this and do it completely free, okay? So here's what it looks like. You're going to go ahead and hit open. All right. And so all of your projects that you guys make, it's down here. And these are just all of the projects that you've done before. Give it a second to load. So, here's a double diamond promotion photo, an emerald photo. So like I'll click on Priscilla right here because she's going to be going double diamond. And this is so you don't have to make a new photo every single time as well. You can actually double click here and you'll be able to change the name and you can change out the photo. And that way you can use the same layout every single time. In case you guys didn't know that, it saves all of your projects. You just have to be careful not to delete it. So anytime you do these stories, you don't have to worry about, oh, the promotion has changed, so I have to make a whole new photo. You can simply just open up your last project and you can double click and then change maybe the 300 to 400 and you still have the same background, the same everything, and it saves a lot of time and it saves a lot of stress and pressure, okay? So what I'm gonna show you is simply how I start. All right, and we're gonna make a brand new one. It's called Over, you guys, Over. All right, so when you open it, you're gonna hit the little plus button at the bottom. That's gonna start a new project. Now, you can choose from all these different templates. There's so many different things, and you can also save these into albums on the Over app. So that way you can always use the same colors that you associate with your brand, okay? So important. So because we saved our photos from Pinterest or wherever you got them, what I like to do is go to Lightroom and I like to use my preset that I have saved and I like to put it over my background. So that way it all ties together with the photos on my Instagram. So if you look here, you can see exactly what I mean. These photos that you're saving, I'm also using as the highlight covers on my Instagram. So you can see everything that I'm using in my stories, I also have right here. It also is kind of just goes with the colors in my photos if you can't tell. So that's another tip right there that you can do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our base photo. I have an album in my phone like I showed you guys. We're going to go ahead and let's choose this Ooh, just got a shock in my hand. We're going to go ahead and choose this cactus background. And you can choose what size you want right here. So if you want to do a square, you can. If you want to do a portrait, it gives you the dimensions, but the one you're going to want to use is the original. That's the size that you use for your Instagram stories, okay? So you're gonna hit that check mark, and you guys can go back and rewatch this in case you're like, holy crap, this is really fast. So it's gonna look like that because it's a screenshot, but you can just simply zoom in like that and get it exactly how you want, all right? So I'm pretty familiar with the layering process. If you aren't, I'm gonna explain it to you because I used to do photography, so layers are, you know, just piece of cake for me. For you, it may be like brain surgery, okay? So what you can do now is, now that you have your background uploaded, you can go to graphics right here. When you click on graphics, you can have the search bar, all right? You can search whatever you want, literally. Now, if you don't want to pay for the app, what I used to do to get around this is I would type in white and then free. So it would bring up all of the white graphics that were free. And it will say on here somewhere that some of them are for the upgraded version. So once I came across certain things that I'm like, ooh, that's free and I could use that, and I love that color, or yes, that would be perfect, I went ahead and started hitting the plus button, and that will put it to your saved graphics, where you can also organize them in a folder and always go back to them and use the same ones on your photos repetitively if you wanted to. So once you start clicking that, you can save some things that just speak to you, but I want to go ahead and use this. Oh, we got somebody unmuted. Hold on. All right, I went ahead and muted them. Let me make it so you can't unmute. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I can turn this like this. All right. So you see how I put that photo on top? Can do that. And that way I can put my photos right there on the middle, or you can even go like this, however you want to, okay? You can also choose to maybe lighten this. You guys, I'm so sorry I have to keep turning this. Maybe I'll just go like that. Hold on. I got to figure out a better way to do this in my trainings next time. I hope this is helping. Drop a 1 in the comments if you've learned something new already. Make me feel better about this. So once you're on this, you can go to adjust, and you can go to opacity. Hold on. I'm sorry. You just go to opacity at the bottom. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So you're going to take this. Okay. And you can literally decide if you want it all the way white or if you want it to be transparent. There we go. Boom. All right. So that way you can add a photo on top. So next you can go to image, and that's going to pull up some images from your phone. This is where you can access all your images, and you can bring up the favorites folder. Let's go ahead and pick a photo of me. All right. So that's going to import your photo for you, and you can just drag and drop. And then from right here, you just swipe over and you can adjust literally the brightness. Okay. And then you can do saturation if you wanted to. Or if you want to, like, you know, take the photo that you already edited in Lightroom with your preset, you can do that too. All right. So either way, you got your photo on there and it's standing out. All right. Perfect. So I feel like I just want something going up and down here, and then we could put some text at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to graphics, and I'm going to type in just pink shape and see what comes up. We have, let me read the comments, you guys. I'm going to try to answer questions as I go. How did you get that first layer? I can go back and show you guys. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by first layer though. As I'm choosing them, I try to choose the background first, and then I choose the next layer after that. And then if you just hit image, it'll keep pasting it on top. And I'll show you guys how to kind of like move stuff around in just a sec. So here we go. Here's some different things. I'm trying, that kind of looks like the It Works symbol. Look at that. I'm trying to think maybe what would go good with this. Let's try that. All right. So this put it on top of my photo, but what if I want it behind it? This is the tricky part, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and put it like that. Look at that, how cute is that? And we're gonna go ahead and hit the check mark button right here. All right, I wanna get it off of my photo. So this is the layer button right here, and you're gonna drag, this is top, this is bottom, right? So you're gonna take this. Okay, I don't wanna delete it, hold on. Just look at this. Okay. You guys, hold on, I cannot do it like that. Okay, literally, you just, oh, I'm grabbing it from the wrong side. That's why I'm an idiot. Okay, you click this one and you drag it. Thanks, Jerica. You drag it below, okay? And then you're gonna hit the check mark. And now it's below it, okay? Do you see that? So if we want to add text, what we can do is we're gonna say, hey guys, my name's Brittany. We're gonna start with that. You should be making yours that says, hey guys, my name's so-and-so. You can go to text, all right? And this is where you just simply type in what you want it to say. So there we go. You can choose your font. And mine is right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and make it bigger. All right. And just because it's kind of just doesn't pop as much, what we can do is we can go back to graphics, type in white bubble, and you can get this. You can see all these things. Let's go ahead and choose this. I'm gonna go ahead and place it right on top. All right. And then I'm gonna hit the layers. I'm gonna layer it right there. See that? All right, and then the next thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how I kind of blend in something. I'm gonna show you. So I'm just simply adding a photo right now. You click image and you're gonna choose a photo. So I want some cheetah at the bottom. So I'm gonna click the cheetah and it's gonna go ahead and open that. So simply what you can do is just crop it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down here. And then if you click on this and you hit edit, you can use this little tool that I love. It's called the masking tool, right? And this is the one you're gonna wanna click right here. And it simply just takes the edges away, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick so it's not as harsh. You see that? Okay, let me show you guys. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna click on that again, hit edit, and then we're gonna instead go to the opacity again and simply just make it less visible. All right, so this is where you can kind of start adding in some really cool patterns to it. I'm gonna go ahead and just move this behind the photo. Okay, do you see that? How cool is that? All right, so next thing what we're gonna do, it looks pretty good to me. We're gonna go ahead, I like to save mine. Another tip that I like to do, you guys, is when you're shopping for your clothes, Like I'm so extra that I try to go towards the colors that I want to like have stand out with my profile. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to Instagram and we're going to go ahead and make it show up. All right. Here it is, you guys. That's what it looks like. How cool. So you may not want to have the text so high next time, just because when someone's viewing your profile, it'll say it right there, your name. So you may just want to bring it down a little bit. And what I like to do is sometimes I'll go ahead and use my Over app to start filling in my story here. Or you can simply just have like different fonts. You can just type it. So I'm saying, hey guys, my name is Brittany. Right? I might have that right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and always use the highlighter. This little tool right here, if you click this, it'll let you pick up any color on your photo. Okay. So let's say I want it to match the pink on my shirt, or maybe let's use the pink right here. It can. And then now this is a pink that nobody else will have because they don't have it in their photo. So it'll look like that. My name is Brittany. And this is where I go to gifts. And I love just looking what's on this first page because it's always like interesting to me. But I love adding sparkles and color and just something that doesn't look tacky but like goes with everything. So I just type in sparkle, or you can type in color or pink or whatever your color is, and you'll find tons of different things. And I just think that some of these are so cute. And so that's where you can add the GIF on top right there. Yeah, I try to do a filter on everything. And there it is. All right, and that's how I make my photos. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna talk about before it works. So before it works for me is simply my why and why I joined, which was because I didn't have money. And then I explain my situation in bullet points. I keep it super simple. So what I'm gonna do is go back to Over, and now what you can do is instead of editing this, because that's gonna delete it, okay? You have to go back to right here, go to My Projects, hold this down, and hit Duplicate. So it's gonna pop up another one. All right, and now I can take this and I'm going to change my photo. So I can click on the photo and you can simply hit replace, and I may use, you know, a photo of me and Addie, or, you know, whatever life was like before it works. I can do the family. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do me and Addie. It could be you during that time. Whatever kind of speaks to you. Each one's gonna be different, but just make sure you just stay on the topic that you guys are on. So what you can do is change out the photo, and you can double tap the text and switch that out. And the title can now be before, or let's say 4 years ago. You know what, I'm gonna make this for somebody who just joined, because there's a lot of people that are just like, I don't have a story. And I'm gonna show you guys that you don't need a story. 2 months ago. You don't need a success story, like major is what I mean. So you can keep it the same. You can change the font, whatever. And then this is where you can, you know, change something, or you can add more to it. Maybe you want to add a different area for you to write. We can simply just type in text bubble and click anything. Like, here we go. And then you can put that here. And now it's a new section for you to write on. And you don't have to touch your background. at all. So then you can save it, add it to your Instagram, and that's when you can start writing your story. So for somebody who joined 2 months ago, you could say, before joining this business, I was at a spot where I wasn't sure how I was going to do. I needed extra money badly, and I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to continue paying my bills, right? What was your reason why you joined? Let's go ahead and see it in the comments. If you have joined in the last year, what was your reason to joining? Because this one is totally for you. So for the one I showed you guys earlier, I did a different background every time. You can do it different every time, as long as like the ones that you chose, or you can do maybe this one every single time. Maybe you want to take, like you guys know, as you guys are commenting, you can also maybe, let me show you guys. You can even take some of your other photos that you saved for like your brand backgrounds. Like here's one, my stars, and you can add that in somewhere in like a new corner and kind of blend all of them together. Okay, so to get out of debt and quit my full-time job, pregnant, and I wanted to be a permanent stay-at-home mom, extra money to help my husband financially, better life for me and my daughter, da 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 da. Awesome. So all of these are great answers. So you need to talk about that, okay? And for somebody who hasn't had a major success, you got to think about what have you gained from this already. And if you haven't gained anything from this yet, maybe you're waiting on your first paycheck and you're in 2 weeks, you need to start talking about what that paycheck is going to do for you. And instead of writing down a past event where it was able to pay for all this stuff, I want you to start writing your future memory, because without writing your future memory, it's not going to be your future. Like, you have to manifest what you want in this business on social media. And I know that's scary because it's kind of like you're putting it out there, but that's what you guys have to do, is talk about what your goals are. Okay. So the small wins is what matters. So you can talk about how you are joining to have money to help you and your family financially, right? So you're going to talk about what life was like 2 months ago before you joined this business. You're going to talk about maybe not how you earned $50 on your first paycheck, which most of us do, but maybe how your first paycheck allowed you to feel this sense of relief. People want that feeling. So you have to talk about that feeling. It was a sense of relief knowing that you finally got the second income up and running. It's coming into your pay, your pay portal, and you're able to then have more of a less stressful day and be able to enjoy it with your kids. And then talk about what it's done for you so far, okay? And then you want to start talking about what it's going to do over the next couple months, which is the reason why you joined, and talk about how the reason you joined is what you're going to end up accomplishing. Okay. So does anybody have any questions about that? Does that make sense? Now is your chance to ask questions. I wish I could like sit down with each of you and be like, okay, this is exactly what you need to say. This is exactly the patterns you need to have or whatever. But I can tell you one thing that is just going to set you apart is being 100% you, no F's given, because that's when you start attracting your true dream team, is when you are you, and that's who you're going to attract. And number 2, just being consistent with sharing your story so many different ways. Don't make this and think I'm good and then that's all you have to share. You want to write it so many different times. You want to have a short version. You want to have a long version. I think we should all have at least 10 different slides saved and things that we can repeat daily. And then for the times like Christmas or birthdays or just, a new story that comes in your mind, write it down so you don't forget it. Okay. So I want 5 questions. What do you struggle with? What is something that you want to get better at? What is, something on your stories that you feel like isn't working and you're not sure how to change it? Now is your chance to put that in the comment with how to share your story on Instagram. And as you guys are writing those questions, I encourage you, step up. If it's on your mind, don't be afraid to ask me. Like, I promise I've heard everything at this point, and I've asked the same questions too. But I want to just remind you guys that putting this story up, you don't always have to put a poll. You don't always have to say, contact me. Sometimes just sharing in a way where you're not expecting anything is actually going to get you more attention. But when you do those polls, I try to do a poll once a week on the business. What helps, just a side tip, is actually doing polls around the business that have nothing to do with the business. That helps me get more likes on my business polls. Like, for instance, Michael painted the kitchen this weekend. I put, do you love white cabinets or do you not? And it got over 300 clicks. So that right there is now going to help me get more views and more clicks on my next one, which is going to be a question saying, if you want more info and if you've been watching me and want extra money, just click the poll below for info. So that's kind of what I say every time is click here for info, click here for the details, click here to claim your spot, click here to see a video, no pressure whatsoever, just want to give some info. So I'll say something different every single time. But that's how I create my stories, and I just layer it. I layer it with the colors I use. I layer it with, the patterns I have, and I don't step away from those patterns. I always use those patterns, and I'm just always trying to find a way to make it pop and make it so even if they're not interested in the business, they want to keep clicking to see what designs or what thing is next, okay? All right, nobody asked a question, and we have 50 people on here, and I know you're not on here to just waste your time tonight. I know you're on here to learn. So did I help you with the questions that you did have, or is nobody wanting to ask? Let me know. If you're good, put good. If you have a question, put a question, because I really want to make sure I don't miss anything. And I want to, I don't know if I'm forgetting something. You know what I mean? The other app that you can use is Unfold, but you can't really get too creative with that. So I don't really use that. The app, anytime I struggle with the app, y'all, I literally, it's something where I'm like, okay, I have to sit down and learn it, which is like, for me, nope, don't want to do it. And I procrastinate, but this is exactly what you need to get ahead. Okay. Yeah. It won't look too busy if it just goes together. Like, obviously, if you have so many patterns, it'll kind of clash. But if you stick with like big blocks of colors plus maybe a busy pattern, and like don't put busy on busy, like it goes together. And then you can fade it and you can blend it and then have one big, maybe one big circle in the middle of like white to kind of balance it all out. How many times a day do we need to post our story? So I used to say once a week, and then I learned, okay, that doesn't work. And I feel like once a week now is like, okay, you're not working. And, the reason why is because I feel like with us following daily and interacting daily, there should always be something on your page or on your story where people can click and see, because there may be a person that needs this so bad that didn't follow you the day before when you posted your story. They're following you today. What are you giving them to see? So I just feel like finding different ways to share your story. You can share your story 5 times a day throughout social media. And I'm talking like in a post. It could be in your story. It could be in an Instagram post. But either way, I can make a regular post and then just talk about my past in it without making it seem businessy. So that's how, what you have to figure out and learn how to do that. So that way, when you do make those polls that are like, click here, everybody wants to click them because they're not shown too much. You're showing your story in different ways that people are like just coming across it. Does that make sense? For instance, if, tonight we made leaves on papers. We glued leaves onto papers, and I'm showing all these fun things that we're doing as a family, the funny things Addie's saying. And then I could just add in there, 4 years ago, we were never able to have family time like this. It's crazy what a business could do for you over 4 years. So that's me sharing my story, just that simple thing right there. And I do that throughout the week, like 5, 6, 7 times a day, that when I do the story, like how we made tonight, and I put that poll, it gets so many more likes. So that's what you have to do. Not feel like you have to constantly share a story, a long post. Long isn't more. Like, people just want to see you having fun and having the feelings that they want to have, the freedom, the fun, the relaxing because you got money in your account, the happiness, the joy. And that's why you just got to have fun with this business without feeling like it's got to be story down people's throats all the time. Find creative ways to show it, and then making these stories is what's really going to get them in with the poll at the end. Okay. Of course, I always say message. So if you see them watching your story all the way to the end, swipe up after 20 minutes of posting it and reach out to the people who viewed it. Just say, hey girl, I know you're seeing my stories about my success. I don't know if you are interested, or anybody you know might be interested in an extra income. I thought I'd ask because your page is awesome. Would you like some more info? And I always end with, can I send you info? Do you want more info? And the answer is usually I'll take info, because it's a lot less pressure than saying, do you want to join? Okay. I feel like I struggle with creativity. Like, I know what I like, but I feel like it would take me a day to do one slide. That's because you're fearful, and fear shows up as perfectionism and procrastination, because you're too worried about trying to make it perfect. And so you procrastinate. And so you don't get anything done, because you're too worried about doing it the right way. You just have to do it until you find what works best. And when you're like, okay, this looks really good, I think I finally found, you guys, like, these things that I'm teaching you, like, I had to try like 20 different things before I'm like, okay, I found my patterns, I found my method, I found my feng shui, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I had to just do it and fail. So, just do what Nikki likes. What is Nikki like? What colors are in your room? Like, who are you? So just think about those things and just do it. There's no right or wrong. It's just standing out, being authentic, and being you, and just being consistent with the same things, and being loud about your story, and really coming off in a way where you want to help people. It's not like you're bragging, sharing your story, but it's more of like I have something that changed my life, and I know so many people need this, and I want to help you. That's got to be your message. And then just showing up you, there's nothing you could do wrong. You know what I mean? I've struggled with making stories and not sharing the same slides over and over. I feel like it takes me forever to make creative slides, but I know I need to work on trying to get them pre-planned and manage my time. So yeah, you always are going to have to post a story. And I want to let you guys know, this is something I struggle with, is like, oh, I just posted that, I can't post it again. I've seen so many top earners that are recruiting in the masses, you guys, use the same story once a week. All right. So if you can have 3 different ways to share this, and then make one new thing a month, you guys are in this for years, right? Like, you can make one new story a month. It may take you 2 hours to get exactly how you want, but you know what? You're going to use that over and over and over again. And when you look at the amount of DTs it's going to get you, like, that's going to go a lot further. You know what I mean? So just invest in it, because when you invest that time to just have several different ones, and know it's okay to use that same one once a week, like, because you're sharing your story differently every day. So doing that slide every week, if you really don't want to like spend that much time, you guys can also pull it up in your projects and just switch out your photos. Leave the text the same and switch out the photo, so that way it's a new photo on that slide that you took this week, and people know it's from this week, so it shows that you're trying to make it fresh. You know what I mean? That's my problem. I word vomit. So if you know it's a problem, then you should be in charge of your own actions and stop that immediately. It's like when people say, oh, I know I'm not getting anywhere, it's because I'm lazy. That's so different than somebody who says, I'm not getting anywhere and I don't know what my problem is. If you know what your problem is, you're like one step ahead of the game. Just quit it. Stop saying so much. I know it's so hard to like be like, oh, gotta close my mouth. But I've learned that, it's kind of like when you say something to somebody and they have a weird reaction, you're like, oh my God, I'm never gonna say that again to anybody. Like you got to be like, okay, I'm not gonna say it. Not going to say it until you get to a point where it's like you don't even think about saying it anymore. So just train yourself to get to that point where you're like, this is all I need to say. This is all I need to say. And you know who the best person to look up to for that is Katie, because she keeps it so simple. And sometimes I word vomit, or like I think about it and I stop and I'm like, okay, I typed too much. And then I'll just go to Katie's page and I'll look at it and I'm like, damn, she kept that so simple, and I'll erase everything. I used to do that all the time. And now I just keep it so simple. People, just want to get to the point, see it, read it, done. That goes for like conversations too. Don't say what wasn't asked, okay? So if you're talking about your past, just start typing in bullet points. Don't type things that don't need to be there. It's kind of like when you're writing an essay. Do you remember writing essays in college and you can only have so many lines? Like you went through and you deleted everything that didn't have to be there. Do that for your posts and for your slides, okay? All right, guys. So yeah, just, procrastination and perfectionism is fear. It's just, you feeling like you're not going to do it right. Like I said, just be 100% you, have fun with it, and you guys will make your stories amazing too. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and I'll go ahead and upload it, and I will talk to you guys later. I can't wait to see your stories. Tag me in them, send them to me, and I would love to give you any advice if you need it. So, all right.